Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now is the time for public comments on any agenda item, except the 5:30 public hearing. Any member of the public who wishes to address the council on the public comments, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record.
My name is Alexandra Lopez. Again, the question is, what will be done so that the Anaheim PD goes transparent? We need to be on the same page regarding all unjustified killings. Chief Welter said during a community meeting that as soon as the DA sees the video, he would have a chance to see it, and I will be able to talk about it. With what happened, we are still waiting. You never know this horrific feeling of a loved one gone because of an irresponsible paid law enforcement officer until it hits home. Me and my family would hear about it and say how sad, but now we are living this nightmare. You can only imagine what his family is going through. The pain of losing someone so special. Mr. Martin Hernandez did not deserve to die this way. No matter what your past or criminal record is, everyone has a right to due process. Rapists, child molesters, etc. They all have rights. Something that was denied to Martin Hernandez. So what happened? There are too many unanswered questions, too many people killed, people that could have been adequately subdued. Help us get answers. From hatred to those who kill unjustifiably, to hope that the council members will help us in our fight for answers. We love and miss you, Martin.
My name is Sonia Hernandez. My brother Martin Major Hernandez was murdered by Officer Dan Hurtado from your Anaheim Police Department on March 6, 2012 with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle to my brother's head. March 6, 2013 will be my brother's one-year anniversary of his murder. 1 year fighting desperately for answers. 1 year of pain, sadness, sorrow, and shock. I'm highly disappointed of the fact that Officer Dan Hurtado led me to fear in the city that I practically grew up in, killing my brother in a neighborhood we lived in for so many years. On the night of my brother's death, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. Never in a million years would I believe I had to bury my 21-year-old brother 20 days before his 22nd birthday, while his 3-year-old son was watching his daddy go 6 feet under. I received no answers, nor any hope that my brother's death will be brought to justice. The TA report lied about everything that happened that night. Why is it that 60 witnesses were interviewed, yet only a couple made the cut? Witness number 1 stated Martin looked like a typical cholo. Please tell me that is not racist or prejudice. Also, I bet 58 of those witnesses told the police Martin surrendered before being shot in the head without mercy. How many more deaths by your police department are we going to have to endure? What about the 2 video cameras that were replaced after my brother's shooting? That wasn't even mentioned once in the report. There's a huge gap missing, and I will expose the truth. This is the time for all the surviving families of police brutality to stand up and speak for their loved ones. Please visit michaelnida.com if you want to share your story. Thank you.
Okay, the Anaheim Police Association thinks that their police department will become weaker by this community oversight committee, and that is false. That is false. The Anaheim Police Department needs to know, and every police department in Orange County, California, and across the United States, that the citizens, the public, we are taking responsibility. We are coming out. We are educating ourselves. We know our rights. We're filming the police in all the neighborhoods.
Anaheim is cleaning, deep cleaning, starting with the police officers. We need transparency, and also some people earn money for giving it away. Our money, our tax money, and you know who they are. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. And I said it before, and I will say it again. I know that Mickey Mouse is behind you, but the cat is coming.
Good evening. I'm speaking here tonight to clearly represent the people's support of a Citizens Review Commission and the people's basic right to pursue democracy. Transparency is a real issue here, and no one should fear it. If done fairly and objectively, it's disappointing to see the further attempts to incite fear when this is still a much sensitive time and should be a time when efforts are made to unite rather than divide the community even further. We hope that our mayor and city council members will not make decisions based upon fear and division. We also hope that the members of the Anaheim Police Association will not take the people's desire for a Citizens Review Commission as an attack on police officers, but just as part of the movement to bring about peace and unity of all the people of our great city of Anaheim. I want to remind folks that when all of the upheaval happened in Rest and Anna Drive, I didn't see anybody but Mayor Tate and Lori Galloway going to the heart of Anna Drive to answer hard questions, to have to respond to anger. People were angry. They wanted answers. You went to the heart of that community. Not once, not 2 times. How many times? You went to the vigils. You embraced the mothers who were still grieving for their sons, and they were angry. They blamed you. But you took it because you're a man, and I believe you're a godly and a righteous man. And that's what we need as a mayor. You're not afraid, Tom. And I'm going to say I count you not only as my friend, but just an amazing leader here. I'm hoping that our city council members that are here, all of you, we've had so much disappointment in the past, that you might just take a look at one thing here. If people don't feel safe, what's going to happen to our city? We don't want to have another uprising. We don't want to have more riots in the street. But if you now take away the rights of the people to clearly just ask, why did my son get killed? Tell us what's happening. What's the process? Think about it if it was your son or your daughter. Those are the things we need to take a look at. That's just transparency. We have great cops, not good cops. We have great cops. But if there's those that are hiding or there's those that are having issues of not wanting to tell the whole truth of what happened, don't you think the residents need to know? Remember this. You may have a badge and a gun. We have our voice.
My name is Damian Ramirez. I'm here to represent the community of Polydale in Los Angeles, California. And I'm standing in solidarity with the families of Anaheim who've lost loved ones to police brutality. Mayor Tate, I watched the state of the city, and I was extremely impressed with what you had to say. I've said it before, it sounds like you're listening, and I really felt like you've been listening. You acknowledge the fact that there's 2 Anaheims, something we've been trying to get someone to pay attention to for a long time. There are 2 Anaheims. These Anaheims need to be brought closer, they need to learn to work together. Your acknowledgement is the first step. You kicked the door wide open. And now we've got to go through that door and get to work. There's a lot of work to be done in the community of Anaheim. You can go down near Disneyland and it looks like it's paradise on earth. You've done a good job promoting Disneyland. Something that I think it's terrible. That I've been working, in the Ponderosa community, raising awareness for what happened to Martin Angel Hernandez last year. And you look up and you can see Disneyland from the alley where Martin breathed his last breaths. One of the last things that Martin saw was Disneyland. And Disneyland has no idea what happened to Martin Angel Hernandez. The people who go to visit Disneyland, the tourists who visit, they have no idea what's happening in the communities right around the corner. And I hear a lot of talk, about $158 million, $156 million, $160 million tax breaks given to hotels, and I think, man, if somebody could just spend $15 million on some of these communities, you'd see these gang problems that you talk about start to dissipate and go away. Because the people who live in these communities are working class. Yes, they're Latinos, predominantly Mexican Americans. But this is their home too. I heard somebody say very callously today, while Yesenia was speaking, a voice from the back telling her to go home. My name's Ramirez. My father was in the 101st Airborne, and my grandfather was in the 82nd Airborne. We are home. This is home for us. We belong here. We belong here, and we deserve respect. We deserve to grow up in the same kind of communities promised to everybody in this country. We have not had that here in Anaheim, and it is evident. It is grossly evident. And you people want to look at the gang problem, and you want to say that the gang problem is the problem. The gang problem is the major symptom of what is wrong with these communities, the neglect. I come from LA. I know all about urban neglect. Urban neglect is what creates negativity in the communities that we're talking about, creates crime in the gang community that you're talking about. But these gang members that you're talking about, they just live in a neighborhood, and they love their neighbors, and they love their friends. And nothing you can ever do, no injunction you can ever pass is ever going to stop them from caring about each other, is ever going to stop them from fighting for each other, is ever going to stop them from loving each other. It's not going to work. You want to change the problem that you have in Anaheim? Listen to Mayor Tate. Acknowledge the fact that work needs to be done. Take some of that money that you want to spend on a new hotel and give it to the residents. Stop spending it on the tourists. Spend it on the residents. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to say that I am a child of God. And for that reason, I want to say that I forgive you for the decisions you have made to employ police who murder, some who have murdered multiple times. These officers murder or execute. It makes it very hard for the public to trust your good officers. I have stated right from the start when Benedict executed my son, Manuel Angel Diaz, on July 21st, 2012. I stated that I will and I do forgive Nick Benedict. I know that I am forgiven by God, and God said we must also forgive. But never take forgiveness for weakness. Through forgiveness, I have found incredible strength. I want to also state that I forgive James Reed. He is being used by someone, maybe in your department, to come up here and attack grieving mothers. Do you know who he works for? Reed had the audacity at last city council to ask Donna Alcevedo to bring 3 gang members, and that I and Teresa Smith should also bring 3 gang members and sit them in the front row of today's city council meeting. This tells me he already knew who would be here today, and that he is well aware of all city meetings and has so much inside information. One more thing about Reed. Each time he gets up here and claims that Manuel's friends are my gang members, I would proudly call Manuel's friends my friends and my family. I would rather stick by these young men than the officers that patrol the streets. They threaten these young men and force them to say that they are gang members, even if they had no intention of joining. Mayor, you have the power to have an excellent police department. You want to promote Anaheim as a city of kindness. You won't have a city of kindness until you remove the officers who are murderers. On the other side, the police showed their true colors when it came to Christopher Donor. He tried to do the right thing and was ousted. You cannot cross their blue line. You cannot blow the whistle on your own department, or you will be hunted down and killed. Have you heard the officers on KCAL 9 saying while Donner was in the cabin, burn him out, burn that mother effer. The intent right from the beginning was to kill him. They do not want his story to be in a court of law. Donor knew it would come to his death. Make no mistake, I do not condone him killing anyone, not at all. He did what he did to bring attention to police. I'm almost done. He did what he did to bring attention to police brutality from the inside. And we all know today how much police brutality there is across this nation. Our justice system failed him, and we have all learned that you cannot be a whistleblower. You might die if you try. I believe more of the good, decent, God-fearing officers need to speak up against the bad officers to make the police department a better place. Most officers don't even trust each other. So how does the public trust people who sit under the words, "In God we trust"? Thank you.